In our society today, that is supposed to be so equal for all, we give certain groups of people in this nation preferential treatment. We give them the upper hand. We make them supreme, such as non-white people, your Mexicans, Indians, Negroes, and Jews, and women. They get preferential treatment, and police. The police themselves get the preferential treatment, red carpet. And at the same time, we're giving certain groups of people in our society preferential treatment. We're also denying other groups their basic ability to even exist in our society, such as the convicted felon, or the mentally ill, or the homeless, or the religious cults. They call people of Islam terrorists, and they are in a cult, a religious cult. And the list goes on of the groups of people who are discriminated against in our society. So what does this do to the overall society as a whole? How does that impact everybody? Well, it is simple. Have you ever talked to some of these idiots that are legislators in our nation today? Have you ever just called your legislator up and talked to him, see what his viewpoints are? Or the people in the media, or the governor's office, or the local police station? Talk to that chief of police and just see how smart he actually is. And what do you find? You find a dummied down society. A society that believes that we should give certain groups of people in our nation preferential treatment while denying other groups of people in this nation they're even the right to exist. And these same fools that do this and believe that this is right, at the same time they're telling you, but we're all about equality, man. I mean, the civil rights movement of Martin Luther King Jr. was about equality and ending racism. That just seems to be a contradictory statement. It just seems to be like a lie. It just seems, and you would be amazed at the fools and the idiots that run this country as legislators, who by giving some groups preferential treatment and denying other groups the right to even exist, by doing this, these legislators are not only proving how ignorant they are, but they're proving that they are keeping the most brilliant and most talented and most educated people, they're keeping them from being able to rise up and rule this nation. It's almost like the dumb legislators want to keep in power by keeping the people dumb. And if the people are dumb, then you can have a dumb legislator that's sitting up there making all this money, and he's served like some kind of king in England. But you see, whenever you give certain groups of people preferential treatment in this nation, then what happens is you tend to hire a black person just because he's black, and his talents doesn't matter. His abilities and talents to produce very productive things is not often the reason he got a job, but he got the job because he was a Negro. Or a woman the same way. Her talents didn't get her there, her sex did. And this just dummies down our whole society. And the same goes for when you discriminate against groups of people, convicted felons. Some of the most talented men in the world are convicted felons, but yet they're denied the ability to get a license to practice a job, such as being a doctor or a good lawyer. As some of the best doctors and lawyers in the world are convicted felons, but because you discriminate against them, the most talented never is able to rise up in our society. And you know, there's a lot of ex-felons who spend years studying law in prison. And they're better lawyers. And they would make better legislators than a lot of these dumb legislators are sitting up there running things. And yet these dumb legislators don't want the competition. They don't want some brilliant man who has been convicted of a felony rising up and then rolling back all of their ideas. You see that most of your legislators are running on the platform today of preferential treatment to women, preferential treatment to colored people. And at the same time, let's deny convicted felons their right to own firearms. It doesn't matter if they can't defend their little children and wives in their own homes from home invaders. It doesn't matter. Deny convicted felons their firearms. We're going to run on a hard-line crime platform. Let's pass out their criminal records. But even though they can't get a job and rent a home now because you're passing their criminal record, it doesn't matter. Pass out their criminal records. Let's get hard on crime. We're going to discriminate against this group. So you have the discrimination on one side, you have the preferential treatment on the other, and you have this corrupt, dumb legislator who's sitting up there in the middle of all this, just breathing it all in like it's some great thing he's doing.